So over the last couple weeks, I've been using this monitor behind me as my main monitor in my desk setup. This is Alogic's brand new Edge 40-inch 5K ultrawide display, and it has to be one of the best productivity upgrades that I've made in my desk setup in a very long time. I mean, we're talking about a 40-inch across panel that's absolutely amazing. It is a 5K 2K display, and leave a comment down below if you know exactly what that means. I had to do a little bit of research myself to understand what a 5K 2K was, but we'll touch on that a little bit later in the video. This monitor also goes up to 100Hz, gives you 90 watts of power delivery, and is ultra thin and lightweight. So without further ado, let's talk about this monitor and also see how it stacks up to the brand new studio display that Apple just released. Let's talk about it. So let's first give you a quick overview of this monitor, and then we'll talk about how it stands up against the studio display, because like I said, from a price point perspective, this is a little bit cheaper, but they're kind of in that same realm of that $1,500–$1,600 starting price for this type of monitor. So again, this is going to be a 40-inch panel. It is a 21:9 aspect ratio. It is an IPS panel. You get 100Hz refresh rate, which is better than the 60Hz a studio display gets you. You get 400 nits of brightness, a built-in USB-C docking station, and it's 90 watt power delivery, meaning you can charge up your 14-inch MacBook Pro at full speed with a single cable solution, and of course it will still charge your 16-inch MacBook Pro, just not at that 140 watts. And the ultra-wide nature of it and the fact that it is a 5K 2K display just means that this is built for creators. This is built for those people that are using Final Cut Pro timelines. It's a productivity monitor to have as many windows as you would like open alongside in macOS. So again, this is a very productivity focused machine to make sure that you can get everything and fit everything in the monitor however you see fit without actually having to strain your eyes to see them in there. So the design is what really stood out to me for this display. Of course, the display itself has to be super high quality at that $1,500 price point, but a lot of it has to come down to design. I mean, that's why Apple charges a pretty penny and a higher premium for the studio display, because of how well everything on the Apple side is built, and this Alogic 5K monitor is no different. You get an extremely thin display, as you guys can see here from the B-roll. All the compute and the I/O and the ports that are needed for this display are all kind of smushed down on the bottom, leaving the rest of the display to be extremely thin. I mean, we're talking 8mm in thickness, meaning that the iPhone 17 Pro is actually a little bit thicker than the thinnest point on this 40-inch display, which is absolutely mind-blowing. It is made out of aluminum and glass to give you kind of that premium feel, and as well as a much more rigidity when you're using this thing, because the last thing you want is a $1,500 monitor that if you just accidentally bump your desk, the whole monitor is going to shake out of place. That's not going to happen here. From a color standpoint, I wanted to color match my MacBook Pro, which is going to be in space gray, but it also comes in a silver color if that's something that you want to go with. Like I said, this thing is extremely lightweight, meaning that the setup, even with a 40-inch display, was extremely easy. And if you guys remember, before the setup I had a 27-inch BenQ monitor, and then flanking it, I had a vertical 16-inch Satsu monitor. So this has completely replaced both of those, and I get more screen real estate overall without having to deal with a bezel in two different displays. And then of course the stand itself is super premium, and I don't know how they do it with all the different levers and pulleys that they use to make this super sturdy, because again, this is technically a 40-inch monitor, so moving it up and down should be relatively difficult, but the lightweight nature of it and how well these hinges and the mechanism that's being used to move this up and down has been built, it makes it super easy that with just one finger you can push it up and push it down and solidify it wherever you see fit. So one thing that I did learn with this monitor is that this is a 5K 2K display. Prior to that, I had never heard of that before in my entire life. But basically what this means is that it has the same vertical resolution as a 4K display, but the horizontal resolution is 5K. So it's still 5120, but it is 2160 as opposed to 2880, which is what a true 5K display is across the board. So you get a much wider horizontal space in a per pixel situation, meaning that the PPI does drop down to 139 PPI versus the around 216 that the studio display has. But in day-to-day use, there isn't any pixelation, there isn't any lack of clarity or crispiness, because again, it's still 5K across, it's just 4K from a vertical standpoint. It's basically like having 1.5 4K displays placed side by side, but in one seamless panel without any bezels. It also comes with an anti-glare finish, 400 nits of brightness, an IPS panel, and the viewing angles are about 178 degrees, meaning that you can basically see it at any angle. And again, the way that I have this set up in my personal desk setup, I have it attached to my MacBook Pro, my M5 version, but I am also using a CalDigit Thunderbolt hub to kind of manage everything together. So I basically have my M5 MacBook Pro connected via one cable to the CalDigit hub, and then the CalDigit hub has an additional Thunderbolt cable going directly to this display, and then of course the display is plugged into power. But the CalDigit hub is more so for my SD cards and things like that, because it's not needed. If you're in a situation where you have an SD card reader or you're using your MacBook Pro as a live display alongside this one, then it's going to be very easy to just use this as a single cable solution, and something like a USB-C or Thunderbolt hub will not be needed. It's just the way that I have my desk set up, and that's the way that I like to have it set up. And then of course, productivity on this thing is absolutely amazing. I use it a lot for personal productivity, so a lot of personal finances. And then of course, recently I've been using it for Final Cut Pro on the M5 MacBook Pro. I've been testing that out compared to LumaFusion and the different workflows. I have a whole video coming out soon, but having that kind of extended horizontal space is amazing for somebody that's using a timeline. Pair that with the MX Master, and you have your little scroll wheel on there, the sideways scroll. It's so easy and so nice to just precision pinpoint and have all that screen real estate to be able to go through your timeline without any hiccups. But then if you combine all that screen real estate, especially that horizontal screen real estate, combine that with 100 Hz or 100 Hz refresh rate, everything is buttery smooth, everything is super fluid, scrolling through timelines, scrolling through web pages, it's just very, very nice, especially compared to a 60 Hz display, which is what most kind of productivity monitors are at this price point. And of course, as I've mentioned, this is a USB-C hub on the rear of it, so you do get some video inputs like USB-C, HDMI 2.0, you even get a display port 1.4, you get an additional 2 USB-C ports, you get an Ethernet port, audio jack, and of course a USB hub, which is nice to see. So you get pretty much all the I/O you would need aside from an SD card slot, but again, I wouldn't want an SD card slot to have to put on the rear of the monitor. That's why I'm using the CalDigit hub, but if you have a MacBook Pro, those have SD cards already built into them, and if you're using the MacBook Pro Live, it'll be very easy to use. And even though I'm using it with a MacBook Pro, this works great with the iPad Pro, this works great and will work great with the MacBook Neo, this works great with a MacBook Air, a Mac Mini, a Mac Studio, pretty much anything that has a USB-C connection, or obviously HDMI or DisplayPort is going to be a fantastic companion to this monitor. So now let's go side by side with that Studio display, because again, a lot of people looking in the market for a $1,600 or $1,500 monitor are going to be looking at the Studio display first, especially if you're coming from the Mac world, but it's good to know that there are other options. So Studio display is 27 inches. It is a true 5K display, so it's not 5K 2K. This is a 5120 by 2880. You also get 600 nits of brightness, a 60 Hz refresh rate, and then the 218 PPI, which is going to be higher than the Alogic monitor. But the Alogic monitor does give you that 40 inches, which is an additional 13 inches diagonally, which is a big difference in a monitor this size. And as we learned, we are giving up some vertical resolution technically, but that is made up with on the 100 Hz side because you get a better refresh rate. You also get the built-in dock and the 90 watts of fast charging. So some trade-offs that you're doing here is that you do get a brighter and more pixel-dense display on the Studio display, but you get a massive workspace, you get higher refresh rate, and better I/O optionality with this display. And then for those of you wondering, there is no built-in webcam, but there are built-in speakers, so it is nice to know that you do have some built-in speakers. I actually have BenQ's Halo light on there, and then I also have another kind of camera over here, the Ozbot I believe it's called, so that's how I set up my monitor and desk setup when I am using a webcam. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that's also the case with this monitor. So if you're looking for an alternative to the Studio display, you want a little bit more screen real estate and you don't want to get 2 Studio displays or a Studio display and then another side display, this one I think is going to be a great option. It's $1,529. They have a bunch of bundles as well that go up to $2,000. But you'll get like the Halo light bar, you'll get their built-in webcam, you'll get their, I believe they have a mouse competitor to the MX Master, as well as a keyboard, and also a huge desk mat. So they have a bunch of bundles that range from $1,500 all the way to $2,000. So if you're looking for a 5K, 2K display that can do pretty much everything, works extremely well with the Mac ecosystem, and you want something different than the Studio display, this one's the way to go in my opinion. I've been loving it. That extra screen real estate, especially horizontally, has been something that I've never actually had in my life. So this ultra-wide monitor has opened up a new door for me to kind of explore other ultra-wide monitors. But that'll do it for this video, everybody. Let me know in the comment down below what you think. Are you in the market for a $1,500 monitor? Always curious to know. But if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here. Until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everyone.